gentlemen, welcome to SNB Talking Sport. I'm your host, Spinksy, and we are back after a couple of weeks off. Big shout out to all the mums yesterday for Mother's Day. The three of us and everyone else in the world wouldn't be here without their mums, and I know our mums watch this show. So shout out to all the mums out there. I hope you guys had a great day and didn't have to do anything at all day. It's been a couple of weeks, guys, since we've been on the show. We've had a few things going on. Ness, let's start with you. Easter, Anzac Day, a couple of weeks off. What have you been up to?
Thanks, Binks. Good to see you both. Huge few weeks. I was away at Easter, back home with the fam, and the Vintage Festival back home is always good fun. So plenty of wine, plenty of food. Been to the coast, been everywhere actually. Been back to Griffith. We had a family funeral, which is a bit sad, but really nice chance to see family and working. AFL, Union League, it's all been happening, and music festivals, and been a bit crazy, but been good times.
Yeah, nice. Mr. Bo Kennett, welcome back to the show, mate. How have you spent your last 4 to 5 weeks?
Well, Ness is going to make me feel pretty bad because I don't think we've really done shit all. Hey, yeah, I've just been a grub. Did we go away for Easter? Oh, we went camping. That's right. Easter seems so far ago.
It was ages ago.
So went camping. That was always a good time. Plenty of drinks. I don't know, sitting by a fire and just having drinks, that's the fucking best. Apart from that, life's boring, man. I'm about to go back from, you know how I traded in the suit and tie for the Teals, about to be back in the suit and tie, going back into the office. That'll start in a couple of weeks.
That's a smart move. It's getting very fresh outside early in the morning these days. I know that.
Oh, dude, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, we had Jess's 30th, actually. That is probably something I should have mentioned. We'll have a little chat off air about some of the behaviour that happened that night, my lord.
Happy birthday. Yes.
And Jesus. And we're going to Europe. In August, so that's easily the most exciting thing.
Nice. Yeah, I got to spend a few days down the coast at Easter. The missus has got some friends down there that have a lovely house on the ocean, and spent a few days on the river and the ocean on the paddle boards and stuff down there, which was very nice. And Bo and I caught up on Anzac Day a couple of times, which was lovely. I spent a bit of time on Anzac Day. We went to just a side track here. We went to the dawn service on Anzac Day, and it was on the left-hand side of the War Memorial because of all the work going on there. And they reckon there was 20,000 there. There was lucky to be 3,000 there. And I've done every dawn service except for the last couple of years due to COVID, and I haven't missed one for a long time. And there was a lot less people there than they were making out to be. And then we played 2 up at one of the roughest pubs in Canberra, which was lovely. And so much so, they didn't sell schooners in schooners. They were selling them in cups. They were worried someone was going to get fast. So that was an event and a half. But I walked out of there with a lot more money than I walked in with, and then I donated that money to a friend. So that was good.
Oh, you're a good man.
You're a good man. I sure am.
You claim that one on your taxes for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Under a donation.
Very nice. I'll talk about a few other things later, but let's get stuck into the news now. And now you two hopped up very early this morning to see the Formula One from the United States, the new track. Ness, I know you watched most of it. Bo, did you catch much of it?
Yeah, so I got up early. I watched some of it. I probably fell asleep again like 3 times and woke back up to watch it. I had a bit of a big weekend, so I was still dusty this morning and I was hurting, to be completely honest. But it seemed kind of like, from what I saw, kind of a non-event, like not too much was exciting. I don't know, we all want the big crashes and that. There's I think the track has too much room for like the DRS. Like it's just wild. But I mean, that's probably a good thing too. Depends how you look at racing.
So Ness, you actually watched the race. How was it?
Well, how can I
tried.
What Bo said. No, really, it was a bit of a non-event, actually. It wasn't until the safety car came out that it kind of got interesting. So very early on, Verstappen passed Ferrari, and Ferrari just have it around the corners, but on the straights, Red Bull are just really too quick. So I was just cheering that Carlos decided to do more than 2 corners. I'm not going to say laps, he did more than 2 corners and finished the race and ended up on the podium, which I'm thrilled about, and won a bet. So I'll take that. But yeah.
Who was your bet with?
We'll continue. Thank you, Christopher.
Ness and someone.
No. But no, good. Ferrari 2 and 3, and yeah, Red Bull took points today, but it was a bit of a non-event. It was Miami though. Looked. Remember when we talked about Austin when they had their race last year? I think the States certainly get around it. It was a pretty good atmosphere to watch, and they built a fake marina, and every A-list celebrity was was hanging out, and they had footy helmets and things on for the podium. It was all a bit strange, to be honest, but I'm considering a trip to the States next year, and I'm wondering whether I do the Vegas one or do the Miami. So we'll see.
Is it any more than a 2-horse race with 2 Ferraris, or is it sort of already over?
I think Ferrari, Red Bull, and I think McLaren well and truly out of it. Daniel Ricciardo's struggling big time. Lando Norris crashed out today, so he had a shocker as well. And really, Mercedes they just haven't got it together. George Russell looked good in qualifying, but Hamilton, I don't know. This is the red hot topic at the moment is, is Hamilton actually a good driver, or has he just had a red hot car?
Good car, yeah.
The last 7 years, and no one else has really done it. I guess there's no question he's talented, but yeah, he's struggling. And George did really well in qualifying, and Hamilton still didn't. So don't know. We'll see what the next few races produce.
Very nice. Now, I think they've got.
Lewis Hamilton's that person we all want to fall off, and there's people why you hate Tom Brady or why you hate the Melbourne Storm. It's just you're sick of seeing that prick win. So I think it's good for F1. As much as I love him and he's got so much style.
I love him too. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. All right, let's turn our attention now to the Super Netball. Now, the netball has been going off in Australia the last couple of seasons, and it's really peaked again this year. It's a lot more of a wide open comp than we've sort of seen the last couple of seasons. My Swifts are in trouble, but they're starting to find a bit of form without the talent on the park they would usually have. They had a huge win yesterday over Greater Western Sydney. It cost me a significant amount of money. It would cost me $5, but it cost me a chance of winning a significant amount of money. So big shout out to my Swifts who won, and I bet against them. But Ness, your Vixens are flying high.
They are. Well, they did have a win this week over the Firebirds, but wow, they've dropped 2 critical games in the Lightning, who are coming last, and the Magpies, who are right down the bottom as well. We seem to crumble, against some of these sort of minnow teams, but then we have these really epic wins. I guess it's great we win when it matters, and pressure games we seem to be able to withstand the pressure a little bit, but yeah, they've been stressing me out a little bit, the Vixens, and just inconsistent. I guess I'm not used to seeing such. We've normally got a starting 7, and they don't really deviate from that. But they've really jumped and changed, and I guess they've really trying out a whole lot of different combinations, and I'm not sure they've really settled on a 7. So I've pretty much nailed the top 4 from our very first predictions, though, except for. I'd predicted the Swifts, but them losing their goal shooters really hurt me as well, I think. But Fever flying high too, and as I said, the Magpies have had a couple of good wins, one against the Vixens. They're finding some good form. So, yeah.
I think is it the Firebirds as well? They're looking hot too.
Yeah, and I predicted the Firebirds had been the 4. They've just got some epic experience, and they've got a really good balance with some youth, and I think that's just going to hold them in really good shape going into finals. They push the Vixens absolutely to the last minute of that game this weekend. And in fairness, the Vixens, probably just that little bit more experience in those critical moments got over the line, but really Firebirds deserve to win. They played amazing.
I've got a red hot take actually on so what you were saying about like you're kind of playing down to the worst teams and you can get up for the better teams. We're always looking for like the next thing in sports analytics and whatever is the hot new thing. No one's done it, but I reckon there's a chance in the future, surely, where that starts to become a bit more normal, where coaches and coaching staff are kind of more giving the players like don't, especially in sports where it's a long ass season. It's like kind of I'm giving you the yes, you can take a bit of a back step against these lower teams as long as you're still giving it all when games are won in games you need to win. Sorry. I think no one's doing it, but you can definitely see in the future that being a thing. When some of these sports, the NBA and all that, are such long seasons, it's difficult on the body to always be trying to put in your top effort. So maybe that's a thing that'll happen. That's my hot take. We'll see if that ever happens.
I guess too, they're throwing in a whole lot of players that probably haven't played either, and you're going to play them against the lesser teams. So yes, that comes into it too, and they're rotating players because it is such a long and physical season. I mean, we saw some epic clashes, and if you haven't watched a netball game, like honestly, some of the tackles in rugby league are hideous compared to like in the Paige Hadley got absolutely smashed, and she has this massive cut on her eye, and she walked off. She's like half doing first aid to herself. There was one collision. There was like a three-way, like two Swifts hit one another, and then, boys, seriously,
Three-way in the netball.
A giant straight on top. Like it's collision central. Like it is really good viewing. So
I know the reason. The reason that you're all here is to actually find out how the under-8 South Gungahlin netball team are doing, and that's the only reason you guys tune in every week. So the South Gungahlin Swifts under-8s, they had another win this week. They're 4 from 4 to start their season. They won 20-0 over the other South Gungahlin team. This was the derby, right? And now the two coaches of the teams were sisters, and their mum was the referee.
Oh,
it was the best games. So my daughter's team has won easily. And of the two sisters, her coach is the older one, and they were on the sideline just being like 15 and 14-year-old sisters, and she was given it to her, and mum was on the court with the whistle, did a mouth, but one eye on them. She's like, if you mess this up, I swear to God. And she's into her sister, giving it to her, and they're giving it back and forth. And I'm like, it's going to be a bad household at your place this afternoon. It was going to be horrible.
That is so good.
It was great. So yeah, the girls.
At least it's not the mum's fault. Like the mum, like 20-0. It's not like it was close, so it can't. Like the mum can't be blamed for some horrendous umpiring decisions because it was obviously a clear
bullshit. There's a favorite child.
There is now. Yeah. There is definitely now.
That's a nasty Mother's Day coming up.
Binks, the kids that I coach, I got to coach them on the weekend actually while we're talking netball, and I'm not able to coach them this year because we play at the same time as they play. But we had a bye this week and went and coached the girls. That was a bit of a kind of can't remember how to coach anymore, but it was so nice to see them. They've grown like meters. So now I'm looking up to them. They're just, they've really come a long way, but they had a massive win. And at 3/4 time, I had to leave. I was filling in for Div 1 and I kind of left and I said, like, put your foot down. Let's go here. Let's try and get our for and against up. They won 55-8. So super chuffed. Yeah, they smashed it. So yeah, they clearly don't need a coach because they haven't been coached all year.
You've been holding him back.
You've been holding him back.
All I had to say was send it. So they did.
Yes.
They said, great.
Beautiful. Well done. Looks like everyone's having wins all over the shop. It's very good to see. Let's turn our attention to the basketball now. Now, the NBL over here in Australia is into their final series. Sydney Kings, one of the most prominent teams in the competition over the last 20 or 30 seasons, and up against Tasmania, the first year in the comp, and Tasmania have made it to the final. Sydney Kings have taken out the first 2 games in the best of 5 series. The third game is on Wednesday night. Tasmania have been there or thereabouts all season. These teams finished 3rd and 4th on the ladder, but the games over the weekend were fantastic. The one yesterday came down to the wire, and the Kings won with a 3-point shot with about 2 seconds left and silenced the 15,000 strong fans that were in Tassie, and it was silent. It was good to watch being a Kings fan, but hard to watch for Tassie. They've tried so hard to come so far, and in their first year, they're there in the big dance, but they're just not quite up to the task. I think they might have played their final in the semi, which is always tough. But did you guys catch any of the action?
I actually did. Oh, not of the second game, the first game, because so my boss and his mate, he kind of got a little red hot tip before the season started, and the both of them together put $500 on Tassie to win at 351 to 1.
No
So
way.
they're riding $210,000 worth of winning if Tasmania wins. So, dude, work this today. Boss wasn't in the best mood. They've put a couple of healthy dollars on. They've hedged, so they're coming out with some money. But 210 grand on stake. Holy hell!
Very nice.
That's wild money. So I've been tuning in and trying to watch a little bit just for him, but.
Yeah, well, game three is back in Sydney on Wednesday night at 7:35 on Fox Sports, I think. So have a look for that, and be sure to tune in. Hopefully, Tassie can take it at least back down there for a fourth game. So
who's the MVP? That he plays with the Kings, right? And he did a hammy or something.
Jalen Adams. Yeah, he's hurt himself, but I think he's okay. Okay. I'd have to check on that. Don't quote me. We'll check on that. Now let's talk NRL. One of our most favourite sports over here in this country, and most favourite sports amongst the three of us.
We cannot do. There's that option.
The Panthers and the Storm are running away with the competition. It seems like the two of them are going to be very hard to beat. My Sharkies had a huge win yesterday after going down to 12 men and then to 11 men, and to come back and still win that game was exceptional. So very proud of the Sharks. And yes, your Roosters are starting to find some form.
Yeah, a good win over the Titans in Mackay. They've had, losing to the Dragons is never great on Anzac Day. But we've had a few rough weeks and it has been ugly. Not as ugly as being a Knights supporter, but
I can only laugh.
You need to go on a drink, Bo. Like, do we need to? They're not just coming last; they are coming last.
Yeah, and they look like they're only going to come last.
So, do you regret throwing all that money at Kalen to sort of stay with the team?
Yeah, I bet you he's really happy.
Not. He's a god. Who else would you ever want? Look at him.
Anyone.
Actually,
no, yeah, it's tough. It's we haven't looked good. Combinations haven't looked good. Coaching just looks like it's up to shit. There's not really too much to say. There's not much good coming out of the club. I have no idea why. Because on paper, I think it's a pretty decent team, but the excuse of it's good on paper it's like 4 years. Geez, I don't know. It hasn't really been that bad a couple of years, but just this year, my God.
They started so well. I think that's what's really hard, because they really were off to a flying start, and there were, I guess, such high hopes. And, I guess, do you get used to losing? I think you.
Fuck you.
No, I mean this with some sincerity here. Like, this is the Vixens last year. You lost every game. And I think you get used to losing. Like, you forget.
I think, you drop your head. Like when one thing goes wrong. Yeah. I don't know. We've had key injuries all year and a brand new spine, and you can't really win in the NRL with a spine that's not played together. So that's my excuse anyway.
They'll come good.
You're spineless. That's right. Before we turn our attention to the NBA finals, I've given up drinking for 5 months, and I'm on the Great Northern Zeros. If you want to give up drinking, I highly recommend them. They're fantastic. I've been smashing them instead. So, shout out
Well,
to
that's good you say that. Actually, Jess and I are just about to start a no drinking thing. Mine's not going to last for 5 months. Mine might be a couple of weeks.
very nice.
I'm not going to stop drinking, but
For it too.
good work, the two of you.
Zero.
Every time Ness, you buy one beer, you got to buy 3.
Okay. Well, it's more red wine. We're coming into winter. It's cold, you know.
Even better.
Yeah, I'm 8 days into 151 days, so we'll see how we go. Right, I'll keep you informed. Let's turn our attention to the basketball now over in the States. Bo, your team are no longer in the contest anymore. Chicago got rolled in the first week, I believe. Did they go down 4-0 or 4-1?
I beg your damn pardon. We got one win against the Bucks, I'll have you know. Again, another team of mine that just was ruined with injuries. Otherwise, we were there for sure. We were a lot
strong. They were strong all year, but then injuries happen. They're down to the final 8 teams. Four in the West and 4 in the East. The Grizzlies and the Warriors seems to be the most entertaining of the 4 matchups at the moment. Ja Morant has been fantastic for Memphis. He's been injured of late. It looks like he won't be there for tomorrow morning's game, and the Warriors will probably go up 3-1, and that series should be over. I think the Warriors and the Suns are probably the 2 teams that are going to be the hardest to beat. Maybe the Heat on the other side. The Heat seem to be up there with your Chicago team all season, so hopefully the Heat can sort of keep that momentum going, but it's really heating up. So if you get a chance, check out the National Basketball on Fox Sports somewhere, because it is fantastic to watch. It's been some entertainment plus.
little Fox Sports plug there. Sponsorship coming in. Nice, good.
Now, and Great Northern Zeros.
Oh.
All right, let's turn our attention to Super Rugby now. Now, for years, Australia has been getting bashed by New Zealand on the international stage, on the Super Rugby stage, everything, right? New Zealand just bashes us. But for the last couple of weeks, the Brumbies and even the Waratahs to a lesser extent have been putting the Kiwis back where they belong. Now, Ness, you spend a lot more time there than we do. Are the Brumbies a contender this year?
I think so. I think they've certainly been building for the last couple of seasons, and they've relatively stuck with their same lineup. Exactly right. It's really rare to see an Australian team dominating against the Kiwis, and the Brumbies have notched up 3 wins: the Highlanders, Hurricanes, and the Chiefs, and they come up against. Oh, gee, I should know this.
Team?
It's happening at my venue on Friday, but anyway, I'll get back to you. Is it the Blues?
The Crusaders.
Crusaders or the Blues? Anyway, that's one of them. I think, Crusaders. So huge for them to have notched up 3 wins, and convincing wins too. Like, they won by 20 points against Chiefs. So this is huge, and I really do think as we're coming into the finals that they're in line for a home grand final, which is awesome. It's good. It's just really good to see New Zealand rugby failing a little bit. If we could just convert that into the All Blacks and Wallabies, that would be amazing. But really good for the Brumbies. And as you said, the Waratahs have actually had some good wins as well. So yeah, maybe that gap is starting to close that a little bit.
I think I think it's the rugby league format where the top 8 teams are in the final this year, and it's 1v4 to 2v3 that way. So we'll have at least the Brumbies and the Waratahs in there. Hopefully, maybe the Reds as well. I haven't actually checked the standings at the moment, but definitely those 2 teams will be in there. So hopefully they can go more than just 1 week into the finals like Chicago.
Yeah, Blues are on top, Brumbies are in second, and Tars are coming 5th. So super impressive from you.
Nice. Just before we start the good, bad, and ugly, there's 2 things we need to talk about. One, we will be back on Spotify. I know we've been lacking in that department. I have all the means to do it, and all the shows of this series will be up on Spotify soon. And secondly, I need you guys to talk me out of something.
Don't smoke crack.
There's something, no that'd be easier than what I'm going to do, right? I'm running my second half marathon next weekend, which is fine. I'm going to do that. That's fine. But they sent me an email about one in Melbourne, right? And I don't want to be that guy who goes away on holiday to Melbourne and runs a freaking half marathon, right? But it's along the beach. It's 21 Ks along the beach in Brighton, I think it is. Talk me out of it. The listeners DM me, talk me out of it. Tell me I'm dumb. It's stupid. I shouldn't go. It's on Father's Day. It's in September. Someone needs to talk me out of it, because everyone I say talk me out of it, they're like, just do it, man. It's fine. I want someone to be real with me and say, stop being a fucking idiot. Don't go away on holiday and run a half marathon. So,
are you running on the beach?
No, you run along the asphalt.
Okay, just along the beach. Okay.
Down there.
Yeah, terrible for your knees.
Andrew.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
You're too old.
Like, you've done one, like accomplishment done. You wanted to do one.
Yeah.
I'm doing my second one next week.
Yeah, see, you're crazy.
I am.
Yeah, you're really just
it's
trying
happened to me. I need help. I need to see someone.
I'm just really jealous that I can't do it. So
It's
really,
happened
I'm
drinking these and running.
And you'd be a bad father.
running. I don't know.
Who are you?
Who even
All right, about enough. All right. So let's do the good, bad, and ugly, guys. Ness, you're up first this week. You've got the good. We are back to the start. What do you have for us in the good world of sport?
Well, I wish I had the bad, because I probably would just talk about the fact that you've changed. You don't drink anymore and you run a lot. But
shit.
Anyway, I'll do the good for you. You have probably seen this video. It's all about the feels. A little kid consoles. It's in the UK. It's a rugby game, and he's consoling his teammate he just doesn't want to be there. He's had a rough day, and this little kid comes up to him and he stands in front of him and he's saying, it's okay. I'm the smallest guy on this team. Everyone here is bigger than me. It doesn't matter if you're short, doesn't matter if you're tall, doesn't matter if you're fat. You're a brilliant rugby player. You're insane. And then he's like, give me a hug. I saw it, I think it was last week. So we haven't been on the show for a few weeks, but I keep watching that video, and it just had so much meaning. I mentioned before, coached the kids on the weekend. I haven't seen them. And they were talking about this video at the game. And they were saying, and I've got one kid who is this kid in the video. It doesn't matter if you've thrown a crap pass, you've completely airballed a shot, you've got an amazing intercept, and then you've stepped. She's just that kid who is so positive and reassuring, and you can't teach that. It's just in some people. And I guess it's just, why we love sport, and it's just so inclusive and shows such teamwork and respect and inclusiveness. It was just a cracking video. I love it. I've seen it about 200 times. And I reckon that I tried today to Google how many views it had. I'm pretty sure they're just my views, because I've watched it so many times. I couldn't find a final figure, but it was
if you just go on YouTube, it shows you the views.
Right? Underneath it shows you. That's it.
Technologically challenged over here. I don't ever go on YouTube. Yeah.
No, I've seen it. It is a great video for sure.
Yeah. And, the coach just going, best teammate ever, best teammate ever.
It's good.
I think that's all you'd want if you're a parent. Like, you'd be like, I want that to be my kid for sure.
That's my kid. Yeah. That's my good. Yay for the of today that are doing good things.
Very good. All right, Joe, you've got the bad this week. What do you got for us besides Newcastle?
Yeah, the bad, I could touch on Newcastle for quite some time, but we all already know. No, my bad this week is all the media and the fans that got up the Penrith Panthers for doing the Viking clap when they were beating the Raiders. Like, for me, I love it. The Raiders have stolen the Viking clap. It's not even their own clap. And what are you going to do to a team that's just pantsing you? Like, oh, stop it. Don't do anything. Just be a better football team. It's just, if you're going to have your own little special clap, which no one else does, and you're not winning games, you kind of have to be expected that you're going to cop it on that end. And I think the media and a lot of the fans really got into Penrith for that, who's also like Penrith. maybe the best team we've ever seen at the moment. I know they've just copped a loss to Para this week, but they deserve to kind of be a bit cocky, I would say. And if you're the Raiders, you deserve to have your pants pulled down and you can't cry about it, I suppose.
Exactly right, man. Because I think when Michael Ennis did it for the Sharks all those years back when he was on the sideline doing these ones, they went off their tree, and it's happened again. And they arc up. And as you said, be a better football team, and you wouldn't have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I think don't steal someone else's sort of war cry
Yeah.
is probably a bigger point for me too.
You know what gets me? This happened probably end of last year. I was at a game here at the stadium. They don't actually blow the horn. That's fake. They don't blow the horn, man. It's fake. Yeah.
That's a lie. Is it?
Oh, shit, you not. It's a fake horn, bro. It is. Yeah.
I'm not at liberty to say.
Don't worry about this. I saw it with my own 2 eyes, bro. It's a fake horn. Yeah. The sound goes, oh, doorbell goes.
No, legitimately, I was the idiot that thought it was too. And then everyone's like, Ness, why would they do that?
They should.
Why would someone spit all over it? And we're in a pandemic.
It's fake.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, valid. Now I feel pretty dumb. But
yeah.
Me too.
Right, I've got the ugly this week, and it is ugly. Australia is the greatest country on earth that we produce some of the most fantastic sporting stars on a world stage here at home, the whole thing. But lately, we've been looking like idiots on a world stage. A couple of weeks back, Ben Simmons said he was going to come back for the 4th game for the Nets against the Celtics. Turns out he didn't, and he got absolutely roasted in the media over there. Stephen A. Smith come out and called him the worst human that he's ever seen. He said he was going to come back and didn't. I understand if you're injured or you're not well, but all signs were pointing to him coming back, and he couldn't be there for his team when his team needed him most. Why would they trade for him and then have him turn around and do that? Why not come out 3 weeks ago and say, I need surgery, I'm not back? Don't give the fans the hope when you're down 3-0 that potentially you can come back and be their savior, and then not come back at all and then have everyone just roast you for it. I just don't think the Aussies are in a good light at the moment on the world stage. And then these things have now come out again about Liz Cambage, what she was doing when she was at the Olympics, when they had that fight with the Nigerian team in a trial game. All reports are that she told one of the Nigerian girls to go back to your third world country, which is not obviously a nice thing to say. And the fights are up from there. All reports are that that wasn't actually just what was said. There was other racial tones towards that. And I just don't think that at the moment the Aussies are being painted as being the nice, respectable country that we are on the world stage. Do you guys feel the same way?
I feel the same way. I also don't think we're all that respected and nice on the field, especially when you look at like what we're known like as cricketers. We're jerks. But just touching on the Ben Simmons thing, I think it's another one of these things where you kind of have to question the competitive spirit of someone, that they're not doing everything they can to play a game 4, man. Like it's
huge. Yeah.
It's your season on the line, and then to not be able to, like you touched on, if you've got issues or you've got injury, sure, but you want your guy. He's meant to be like your franchise guy. You want him to do everything he can to get into that game, and probably didn't do it. So he's not making, like you said, he doesn't look good. It's a bad look for him, but also fuck him.
Exactly. Yes.
And Liz too. Like Liz, they're saying that she actually won't ever play for the Opals again. And I think she lost that chance when she first made those comments. So all of this has sort of come out in the last day or so. And I think more today was exposed. But I think that's the thing. Like, what do you actually think the perception of Australia is? Because I guess as Bo said, right? Like if you asked any cricketing nation, they're hating on Australia because we've just been, I guess, dominant, and we're probably a bit pompous. And, I think if you asked any team that plays the Diamonds, they would say the same because they've been so dominant for so long. But do you think that's the general feel about Australians playing sport, or do you think that?
I think as an international, like as a country, we tend to dominate a lot of things. Whereas I think as an individual sports star over in the US or whatever, or in England, we're sort of looked upon as being the friendly ones, that we're not, that we don't all have egos, and we're not all out there to show off and stuff like that. I think we're a lot more respected. Like you look at Paddy Mills and even guys in soccer over there in England and Scotland and stuff, they're a lot more respect around. Whereas I think as a team unit, Australia tends to go over there and just bash everyone, which is good. Yeah.
I mean, I've stuck my hand up. I love Nick Kyrgios, but find me how many people love Nick Kyrgios. Probably not many.
One. Yeah.
It's like, I guess there's Nick, Leighton Hewitt, like there's sort of a group of them. Liz, Ben Simmons. Yeah, there's a group of people who are probably not painting Australia in the best of lights. And I guess some of the swimmers, like
question.
Ian Thorpe probably was.
Oh no, everyone had to love Thorpe. Come on. Come on. You can't be a bad guy. Surely. Although I'm sure he's a princess, so maybe.
Sorry, Bob, you were saying?
I can't even remember now. I'm just thinking if Ian Thorpe was a bad person or not. My childhood memories just crushed.
Just crushed him. He crushed him. Poor Thorpe. Very nice. All right, guys, let's turn our attention to next week now. There's a lot of sport happening this coming weekend. The Super Rugby is heating up, so be sure to tune in for that. There's so many games on at the moment. NRL is in the Magic Round this weekend, so every game is out of Suncorp Stadium, which is going to be huge. Penrith are playing Melbourne, which will be massive. The Sharks have got the Raiders. As you guys know, I had to get doled up the last time the Raiders beat the Sharks. There will be a return bet this weekend. I can guarantee that. I will let you know what that bet is. And the bet will go down on Sunday at 1:50. So be sure to tune in and cheer for the Sharks. Unless you're an idiot, of course, then you can cheer for anyone you want. And I think the Roosters got a huge game this weekend, which I didn't actually write down. Cool. Let's just skip over that. Cool.
I'm all over it today. I really don't know who they play.
But I don't know.
They follow the Raiders, so probably the Bulldogs.
Probably the Dogs. Yeah, there you go. Nice. AFL is heading up.
No, the Bulldogs. The Knights have the Bulldogs. That's the opening game. Like, what a cracking first game on Friday.
That's why they gave you the first game. Yeah.
So they might win that one. They've got this.
No.
They've got.
No. You've got. You're playing Parramatta.
Yes.
Parramatta.
Cracking.
That's going to be a cracking game.
That'll be good too. Yes. And the NBL Game 3 is on Wednesday night at 7:30, which we spoke about earlier. Be sure to tune in for that. Hopefully Tasmania get up for your boss, mate, so he can have hang in there a little bit longer with his bet. And the Super Netball is heating up too. Ness, your team are on top at the moment. We'll see how long that lasts for.
I'll actually be at the game heading to Sydney with the netball girls, and we're going to see the Vixens and the Giants.
Yeah.
So
the Giants.
We've got all the boxing on Wednesday night as well.
Yes, I'm going to say that.
Gallen
is fighting on Wednesday night, and Costa Zoo number 3.
Yeah.
Yep, could be there.
The youngest Zoo.
Youngest Zoo, yeah. Could be in there too. I saw Gal's conference this morning. He looked very upset. So it's going to be a huge fight on Wednesday night. So be sure to tune in for that. I'd say Gal won't fight till probably about 10:30 or 11 o'clock. So I'll be asleep till then. But
should be his last fight too, I think.
Yeah, he's been getting on a bit now. He seems to have been doing it for 5 or 6 years now.
He's been doing it a bit.
Yeah. So I think he retired after. No, he retired in 2018. It's been 4 years. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a long time now for Gal. But guys, that's all we have time for this week. Big thanks to all you guys for coming back, and we'll see you all next week. All right. Hooray.
Take care, brush your hair.